One day, a student named Yao receives a strange call from an unknown person. The caller tells her to run away quickly before they arrive. Suddenly, everything turns upside down. The world around her changes into just one color. Some strange men come out of the walls and start chasing her. The mysterious man on the phone tells her to run into a certain room and lock the door. She does exactly that, but the men keep banging on the door until they break it down. When they rush inside, they find no one. Then, we see Yao unconscious while a mysterious man carries her. He seems to be the exact same person who called her earlier. Right after that, the mysterious man faces a very tough fight. He goes up against men in suits who look like members of a dangerous organization. It is clear they want to kidnap the girl. While we are still trying to understand what is happening, one of the suited men attacks the hero at lightning speed. He orders him to hand over the girl or else he will be destroyed. But the hero stands confidently, fully expecting the attack. Boom! A huge explosion happens and buildings collapse from the heavy fight. The hero reacts with a quick move, almost like he is programmed to fight. He lifts his hand to block the strike and throws the attacker spinning into the air. Before the guy even realizes what happened, he crashes to the ground, seeing stars. But the fight is not over. The rest of the gang surrounds the hero. One attacks from behind, another from the side, and a third lifts a strange device charging with weird energy. However, our hero is always one step ahead. Suddenly, he releases a wave of energy like a powerful explosion, blowing everyone away. The few who are still standing shake with fear. They stare at him like they are witnessing a real war. After he takes out most of the gang, only one guy is left, entirely helpless. The hero takes out a pocket watch and hopes everything works out this time. Suddenly, the time on the watch changes, and Yao wakes up at her desk in school. She does not remember anything that just happened. A classmate asks for her help with something, so she goes with him. We then see the mysterious watch lying on her desk. After school, Yao hangs out with her friends. They play a game, and she loses. As a punishment, she must honestly answer one question: who does she have a crush on? At that moment, a boy named Wang gets shy and starts laughing nervously. His friends notice and try to tease him. They ask if he thinks Yao likes him, especially since everyone knows they both like each other but never admitted it. Wang gets super embarrassed and stumbles over his words. He claims he and Yao are just close friends and nothing more. However, her friends keep pushing Yao to say who she truly likes. Feeling brave, she looks straight at Wang and honestly confesses that she has liked him for a very long time. Wang gets incredibly shy, but deep down, he is flying with joy. However, the other boys in the group get very jealous because they all secretly like Yao. They decide to beat Wang up after the hangout. They even plan to call Yao so she can watch him get humiliated and hopefully stop liking him. But Wang refuses to let Yao see him like that. He fights back and hits them to make them run away. Sadly, during the fight, he loses his balance and falls straight into the water. As Wang sinks underwater, he remembers his childhood memories with Yao. He thinks of a time he was running away from school bullies in the pouring rain. Yao saw him terrified and hurt. She gently treated his wounds, comforted him, and shared her umbrella to walk him home so he wouldn't catch a cold. From that exact moment, Wang fell deeply in love with Yao and always wanted to confess his feelings. While letting the water pull him down, a bright blue light catches his eye. He swims toward it and finds a glowing cube. As soon as he grabs it, the cube seems to enter his body, taking control. Suddenly, a strange force pulls him away, and he finds himself floating in deep space. A mysterious robotic voice speaks to him. It explains that he has just gained the power of teleportation, and can now travel anywhere instantly. Wang is totally confused and doesn't understand anything at all. The robot quickly sends him back to his world. Wang finds himself floating high in the sky, looking down at the jealous boys who are still searching for him to finish the fight. Suddenly, he is teleported again, this time landing inside his school. The robotic voice echoes in his mind, telling him he can use this amazing ability whenever he wants. The robot then warns him that someone else is in the building. Listening to the voice, Wang grabs a flashlight and goes to check. It turns out to be just a school worker who heard a strange noise. To avoid getting caught, Wang quickly teleports straight to his house. He takes a shower and notices that Yao has called him over 100 times. He calls her back to calm her down. Acting completely confident, he tells her those guys could never beat him in a fight. He says he is just very tired and promises to call her later. Just as he is about to fall asleep, the robotic voice speaks again. This time, Wang gets annoyed because he just wants some peace and quiet. The robot plainly states that it is now permanently inside his body. He cannot get it out, so he must get used to it. Suddenly, it pulls him back into space and welcomes him once more. This time, the system explains its true purpose. It tells Wang that by touching the Hardic Cube, he became the master of the infinite universe system. Wang still barely understands, but he really loves the idea of having unlimited teleportation powers. However, he asks the voice why it saved him and took him away from the fight instead of just dropping him back nearby. The voice calmly replies that it did this to fulfill his deepest wish and to turn him into the king of the world. A few days pass, and Wang tries to get used to his new powers. Every night he goes out to train hard. However, he still cannot control the power well. He asks the voice in his head to teleport him to the other side of the area. But the voice warns him that his energy is almost empty and they need to save it. Wang sits down to rest and admits he is struggling. He is still having trouble controlling the power and teleporting wherever he wants without help. He fears that one day he will teleport to a high place instead of the ground, fall, and lose his life. To calm his fears, the voice teaches him a new trick. Wang discovers he can use special rays from his eyes to see up to 14 meters away. This allows him to pinpoint the exact spot where he wants to land. He tries the new trick, and it works perfectly. However, it drains a massive amount of energy. Breathless, Wang collapses to the ground. The voice keeps calling his name, but he cannot answer. Seeing him passed out, the system automatically teleports him back home. Wang finally wakes up and complains that this superpower is too hard to handle. The voice reassures him that this is just the beginning, and soon, everything will be perfect. When Wang asks why he was brought home, the system explains that if his energy completely ran out, his life would have been in serious danger. As Wang gets out of bed, he is shocked to see the physical cube sitting next to him. Earlier, it said it would stay inside his body forever. The cube explains that if it stays inside him while his energy is low, it will drain him completely. If he dies, the cube dies too. Because of this, it must stay outside until his energy recharges. Curious, Wang asks the cube who created it and why, but the cube knows nothing about its past. Even after searching the internet, it finds zero answers. Just then, Yao calls Wang and invites him to dinner. He gets very excited, but suddenly remembers the gang he fought earlier. He tells the cube he needs to increase his energy and power as fast as possible. If he runs into those guys again, he wants to get revenge, or at least defend himself in front of Yao. The cube tells him leveling up is simple. To double his power, he just needs to absorb energy from specific stones. It suggests using the crystal stone in the living room or his mother's diamond ring. However, taking those is impossible, or his mother would go totally crazy. Instead, the cube suggests he go down to the garden and dig in a specific spot. There, he will find a stone filled with energy. Wang quickly flies to the garden with a shovel and starts digging. He pulls out a small stone and asks how to absorb it. The voice tells him to place it inside his energy barrier. As soon as he does, he feels a massive change. His energy flips 180 degrees and his strength skyrockets. He asks the voice what just happened. It explains that he gained 2 skill points and officially leveled up. With every new point, his power and combat skills will grow stronger, bringing him closer to becoming the king of the world. Happy with his progress, Wang goes back to sleep. The next morning, he wakes up very late. He dresses quickly, accidentally hangs up on Yao's call, and rushes to school. When he arrives, Yao is extremely upset with him for hanging up on her. He deeply apologizes and tries to make her smile. But at the worst possible time. The gang he fought earlier walks in looking for him. Wang quickly grabs a book to hide his face so they do not notice him. Yao gets very worried. She walks up to Jun, the leader of the gang, and asks him to leave them alone. Instead, Jun starts mocking Wang in front of everyone, calling him a coward who hides behind a girl. Hearing this, Wang gets a massive surge of courage. He lowers the book, walks straight up to Jun, and tightly grabs his raised hand. They aggressively pull at each other until a teacher walks in. The teacher warns that if they fight in class, both will be kicked out of school immediately. Jun backs off but challenges Wang to meet at the sports field at 500 p.m. The big moment arrives, and Wang confidently steps up to face the gang. But before making a move, he secretly asks the voice about his chances of winning. The system calculates his odds and says his win rate is only 20%. Wang starts to panic but tries hard to hide his fear. He steps up to Jun, who gives him an offer. Jun says if Wang stays away from Yao forever, he will spare him and cancel the fight. Wang bravely replies that Jun is only dreaming. He claims Jun barely survived their last encounter, and this time, Wang will not show mercy. Furious, Jun tells him he brought a little surprise. A tall, massive guy steps forward, revealing himself as Wang's true opponent. The giant does not even wait. He immediately charges and starts throwing heavy punches at Wang. But Wang simply steps back and dodges everything. He lets the big guy throw all his punches into the empty air. This goes on for 15 long minutes, and not a single punch lands on Wang's face. The giant becomes so tired and sweaty that he can barely stand. The voice tells Wang that this is his perfect chance to land the final blow. Wang listens. He quickly grabs the giant's leg and boom, sends him flying high into the air. When the giant hits the ground, he is completely knocked out and cannot even lift a finger. Strangely, instead of getting angry, Jun starts laughing in a very creepy way. Wang and the rest of the gang are totally surprised by this weird reaction. Jun tells Wang that he only won because he is a smart kid, nothing more. He asks what Wang will do when the whole gang attacks him at once. Wang gets a little nervous. The first guy steps up, mocks him, and then they completely surround him in the center of the field so he cannot escape. However, Wang does not run, does not flinch, and does not even say a word. He just stands perfectly still, staring right at them. Suddenly, the first guy attacks. This turns out to be the biggest mistake of his life. Wang dodges easily and knocks him to the ground with a single, fast hit. The rest of the gang rushes in all at once. But to Wang they are moving in slow motion. He effortlessly blocks every single hit. Anyone who gets close takes a solid beating. He grabs one guy by the shirt and flips him, knocks another into his friend, and sends a third flying hard to the ground. The biggest surprise is Jun. He was standing confidently, waiting to see Wang get crushed. Instead, he suddenly finds his entire gang groaning on the floor. His proud smile drops, and his eyes fill with pure fear. Wang takes a step toward him, and Jun completely panics. Instead of fighting, he throws his hands up and starts begging. He apologizes, admits Wang is much stronger, and promises never to bother him again. He looks as terrified as if he just saw a ghost. Wang laughs, feeling a huge rush of victory and power. But his joy does not last long. Another group of boys shows up. Their leader also likes Yao and had previously teamed up with Jun to beat Wang. Seeing Jun begging, they laugh and mock him. They call Wang a weak kid and think they can crush him in seconds. Right then, the system voice warns Wang that his energy is dangerously low. It advises him to run away before they catch him. Wang gets scared and starts running, but he actually has a smart plan. He activates his auto-teleport ability. Suddenly, he vanishes right in front of them. The lights flicker, and he instantly reappears behind their leader, grabbing him by the neck and choking him until he passes out. Wang does not give the rest of them a single chance to react. He beats them all effortlessly. In less than a minute, the entire second gang is lying helpless on the ground. One boy goes to turn on the stadium lights and is completely shocked to see all his friends defeated. Suddenly, Wang hears the police trying to open the doors. It turns out Yao called them because Wang was late, thinking Jun had locked him inside. Wang quickly realizes he cannot explain how he beat up all these guys alone. So, he makes a fast deal with Jun. He promises to spare Jun and start fresh, but only if Jun takes all the blame. When the police walk in, Wang acts like a helpless victim. They arrest Jun, while an ambulance takes Wang away. Yao sits by his side, deeply worried about him. A few days pass and Wang decides it is time to find more energy stones to increase his power. Sadly, all the stones in the city are expensive jewelry, and he has no money to buy them. His only option is to find raw gems out in the wild. Using his system, he locates a famous mountain just outside the city. When he arrives, he discovers that the gems are buried 15 meters underground. Digging a hole that deep would take days. Fortunately, the voice tells him there might be a small opening he can use to teleport inside. Wang looks around, notices a lake, and guesses the openings are underwater. He is right. He successfully teleports into a hidden underground cave. He walks a bit, and the voice says the gems are right in front of him. But all Wang sees is a solid wall of useless rocks. He feels completely disappointed. Suddenly, he feels a fresh breeze on his face. He realizes there is another hidden exit, finds it, and teleports through. This time, he arrives in a massive cavern and finally sees a huge number of shiny gems. However, they are hanging from the ceiling far away, right over a deep underground lake. As he sits down to plan his next move, a giant, terrifying snake silently slides up behind him, ready to swallow him whole. Unaware, Wang decides to do short teleport jumps to get closer to the gems. The final jump is very far, so he ties a safety rope around his waist just in case. The voice then tells him he is looking at more than 12 pure energy gems. Wang is thrilled, thinking he will become as strong as a superhero once he absorbs them. But suddenly, the giant snake strikes. Wang finally sees it, but he is too shocked to react. Both of them fall straight into the dark water. Unable to fight the massive snake, Wang begs the voice to teleport him away. The voice warns that since the snake is wrapped around him, it will teleport with him. To save his life, the system brings Wang into the safety of the mind space. There, the voice explains that he can merge 11 gems into one ultimate, super powerful crystal. But the process will take 100 long hours. Wang cannot wait that long while a giant snake is trying to eat him. So, the voice suggests keeping 2 gems to absorb right now, which will give him enough power to win. Wang quickly agrees, absorbs the energy, and returns to the cave. Exceeding all expectations, he strikes the giant snake with a single, devastating blow. The monster falls dead into the water. Surprisingly, a unique, glowing gem drops from the snake's body. Wang gladly keeps this rare prize, finally breathing a huge sigh of relief. On that same day, Jun is sitting with his friend Huan. Both of them hate Wang and try to come up with an evil plan to get rid of him. Huan suggests they trick a man named Mr. Li into fighting Wang. Jun asks who this man is. Huan explains that Li is one of Yao's relatives who recently returned. He is extremely strong and even took down a gang leader before. With a sneaky plan, they hope to force Li and Wang to fight while they sit back and enjoy their revenge. The next day, Wang returns to the city to meet Yao. As they walk together, she feels that he has become stronger and more mysterious. He tells her he is only doing this to protect her because her safety is all he cares about. Later, they play a guessing game. She hides a piece of candy in her hand and asks him to guess which one it is. Wang secretly uses his eye powers to see through her hands and guesses right on the first try. She repeats the game over and over until the candy bag is empty, but Wang wins every single time. She cannot believe it is just luck. Getting nervous, Wang tries to think of a believable excuse. He jokingly tells her he is using telepathy because they are so in love. After a long debate, she finally believes him. They sit together to watch the river view. Wang then remembers the gift he brought her and hands her the glowing peacock stone. She is amazed by its beauty and asks where he found it. He claims he jumped into the river just to get it for her. They happily agree to meet again the next day. The following day, Wang waits at their usual spot, but Yao takes way too long and never shows up. He calls her multiple times, but there is no answer. Suddenly, he overhears two people talking about an incident at Yao's address. Deeply worried, he rushes to her house. He finds a crowd of people, and the police trying to calm her crying mother. Her mother says she came home to a messed up house and her daughter missing, begging the police to find her. But the police officer is confused because the media arrived before them, meaning someone tipped them off on purpose. Shocked, Wang spots Jun trying to sneak away. He rushes over, grabs him furiously, and threatens that if he does not tell him where Yao is, he will crush him. Terrified, Jun promises to confess everything. Meanwhile, we see Huan tied up and getting tortured by the dangerous organization that previously tried to kidnap Yao. Huan's foolish plan backfired, getting both him and Yao kidnapped. A scary man from the organization starts interrogating Yao. He demands to know her relationship with the superhuman guy, named Shi, who saved her before. But Yao has no idea who this man is and does not remember him at all. Furious, the interrogator raises his hand to hit her. However, his assistant quickly stops him. He warns that Yao is extremely important to Shi. She is the only bait they have to lure him in. If Shi arrives and finds a single scratch on her, he will wipe them all out in seconds. The man agrees and leaves Yao alone. Back to Wang, he is furiously scolding Jun. Jun admits that they let Huan contact the kidnappers. They thought Li was Yao's relative because they share a last name, but they were completely wrong. Li is actually a highly dangerous criminal. People are so terrified of him that a street was named after his violent crimes. To make things worse, Li is currently hunting Shi, the mysterious superhuman. Jun asks Wang if he remembers when they were kids. The organization tried to kidnap Yao back then, but Shi saved her and cut off the attacker's fingers using his powers. Now Li wants brutal revenge. Wang yells at Jun for this stupid mistake and turns to leave to save Yao. Jun tries to stop him, warning that Li is a monster. He says Huan is probably already dead, and Wang will be next. But Wang is full of rage. He declares he will bring Yao back, and neither Jun nor Li can stop him. As for Huan, if Li has not finished him, Wang will. Jun begs him to just call the police, saying Wang cannot beat Li. Wang replies that he is not stupid. He will make a smart plan before rushing in, so he does not put Yao's life in danger. Using the system, Wang tracks the exact location of the gem he gave Yao. Meanwhile, Li talks with his assistant, who is still terrified of facing Shi. Li confidently reassures him that their traps are ready. Even if they cannot defeat Shi, he will not leave alive. Suddenly, a creepy puppet controlled by a hidden person appears. It says everything is set for revenge. Hearing this makes Li very excited, and he orders everyone to get into position. At the exact same time, the system voice tells Wang that his ultimate gem fusion will be fully ready in 30 minutes. Outside the hideout, some gang members spot Wang walking around. They quickly report him to Mr. Li. Annoyed, Li orders them to finish the kid off so he does not ruin the main trap. Li sits back expecting to watch a fun little fight. Wang tries to break into the building calmly, but he finds the door locked with a heavy padlock. Suddenly, a gang member appears and threatens him. He tells Wang that if he tries to break the lock, he will die instantly. But Wang does not have time for this nonsense. He demands the key right away. The man laughs at his attitude and tells Wang to follow him if he wants the key. Meanwhile, Li goes to the room where Yao is being held. He turns on a big screen so she can watch Wang fight. From the very first moment, a huge man steps in front of Wang. He stares at him and promises to show him real power. The fight begins and the man attacks with an incredibly fast and strong punch. However, Wang dodges it easily and moves smoothly away. The man throws punch after punch, all from the right side, but none of them hit Wang. Wang stays perfectly calm. He locks his eyes on his opponent, focusing completely so he does not waste any energy. He moves perfectly, like his body already knows where the punches are coming from. The huge man gets faster and tries to use his full power. Still, Wang dodges everything. The giant gets very frustrated and tries to grab him. But Wang uses a smart trick to make the man rush in the wrong direction. Instantly, Wang appears behind him, grabs a heavy hammer, and slams it down on the man's head. This powerful strike drops the giant to the floor, completely knocked out. Wang silently walks up to the unconscious man, takes the key and moves on like nothing happened. He goes up to the next floor and is surprised to find another fighter waiting. This guy is supposed to be even stronger. He has trained since childhood to detect people in the dark just by hearing their movements. Because of this, the entire room is completely dark. But as soon as the man gets close, Wang spins around, slaps him hard across the face, grabs a stick and beats him with it. Literally, it takes less than 10 seconds for Wang to win and move to the next floor. Watching this on the cameras, the assistant is totally shocked. However, he is sure Wang will not survive the third floor against a monster named Beowulf. Beowulf steps up. He is an enormous man with a wide back and a body as hard as stone. Wang decides to attack first. He grabs a stick and rushes forward. But Beowulf easily catches the stick like a toy. He aggressively grabs Wang by the collar, lifts him high into the air, and starts choking him. Wang's face changes as he struggles to breathe. For the first time, he is in serious trouble. Wang tries to escape, but it is useless. Boom. He takes heavy punches one after another to his chest and face. He cannot fight back. This time Wang is the one getting beaten and pushed back. He has no choice but to endure the pain and wait until his gem fusion completes. He counts every single second in his head. Every painful punch brings him closer to his goal. Finally, the exact moment arrives. The energy inside him explodes. His body glows brightly, his power skyrockets, and his eyes look sharp again. With a lightning-fast move, he breaks free from Beowulf's grip and punches him hard in the stomach. The giant steps back in pain and anger. Wang does not give him a chance to breathe. He jumps high and kicks him right in the chest, sending the giant crashing to the floor. Wang follows up with another heavy strike. Gathering all his new energy, he delivers the final blow. He leaps and slams Beowulf into the wall so hard that the wall crumbles and the whole building shakes. Wang stands victorious over the giant, who is now struggling to breathe. Watching this, Li goes crazy with rage. He smashes everything around him, screaming that his men are weak. But his assistant calms him down. He promises that on the fourth floor, Wang will face a fierce girl from the Million Alliance who shows zero mercy. Li mocks the idea, saying she is just a girl. The assistant quickly corrects him. He explains that her tribe is extremely powerful. Every member wears a special bracelet to lock away their true power. Once they take it off, they turn into unstoppable beasts. Meanwhile, Wang is breathing heavily. The system voice warns him to control his fear for Yao, or it will ruin his focus. Wang asks about the power level of the next fighter. Surprisingly, the voice says it cannot read her level at all. This is terrifying because it means her power is far beyond anything the system can measure. Wang just finished a tough fight, but he suddenly faces a new opponent named Million Koi. She is not an ordinary enemy. She is incredibly fast and moves so lightly that she almost becomes invisible. Beside her stands Million Stone, a mysterious man who just watches from far away and does not interfere. Wang tries to read her movements, but there is zero time to think. Million Koi attacks instantly. She dashes toward him and strikes with lightning speed. Wang dodges at the very last second, but Koi does not slow down. She attacks from all directions, right, left, above, and below. Wang tries his best to dodge, but the pressure is massive. Every time he escapes, she gets even faster. She constantly scratches him with her sharp claws, trying to drink his blood. Koi moves gracefully, making Wang chase her in circles without catching her. Her fast strikes slowly push him back. Wang realizes he must find a weak spot in her fighting style. He notices that despite her speed, she follows a strict pattern. He tests her attacks by moving in different directions to see how she reacts. Suddenly, he discovers something huge. After every 3 quick strikes, she pauses for a tiny second. When Koi repeats her 3-strike pattern, Wang takes his chance. He quickly steps to her side and lands a heavy hit on her shoulder. Koi backs off but does not fall. She charges again, but this time Wang knows all her moves. For every strike she throws, he counters with a much stronger one. Wang turns the tables and puts heavy pressure on her. When Koi tries to jump out of the circle to escape, Wang leaps into the air and hits her hard on the back. Koi crashes to the ground. Wang approaches as she struggles to get up. Breathing heavily, Wang hopes she will just give up. Instead, she tries to transform into a beast. She reaches to remove her magic bracelet, wanting to unleash her full power and drink his blood. Surprisingly, Million Stone steps in and stops her. He tells Wang to calm down, explaining that removing the bracelet would actually put Koi's life in danger. Stone then shocks Wang by surrendering and letting him pass. Wang asks how he can trust Stone not to attack him from behind. Stone pulls out a special item called the Million Coin. He places a drop of his own blood on it, creating an unbreakable vow between them. Wang finally trusts him and walks away. After Wang leaves, Stone contacts their teammate Misha, telling her to retreat because the plan failed. But Misha does not answer. Someone else has knocked her out, taken her headset, and replies to Stone instead. Meanwhile, Mr. Lai is furious and completely panicking. All his elite fighters have been defeated. His only hope left is a powerful fighter named Chu. But Chu decides to abandon the plan. He refuses to fight Shi because he senses that Wang is a much better challenge, and he wants to enjoy a real fight. Lai begs Chu to stay and offers him a huge amount of money. Chu angrily yells at Li and threatens him with his massive power. He declares that no one gives him orders, and he immediately heads straight for Wang. Wang reaches the next floor but finds it completely empty. He thinks the fights are finally over. Suddenly, he hears a voice behind him. He turns around and sees a man holding a strange talking doll. Wang secretly asks the system voice about this fighter's level. The system says the man is only level 7, which is very weak. Also, the crystal inside the doll is a low level. Hearing this, Wang feels very reassured. However, Wang is confused. He does not understand how this guy can be the final boss when every floor was supposed to be harder. Suddenly, the man, named Chu, blasts Wang with a magical strike, sending him crashing through a wall. Wang struggles to catch his breath. He wonders how a level 7 fighter can be this strong. Chu laughs and explains that his physical combat is weak, so he mastered powerful magic instead. He says this battle will be very interesting. Feeling tense, Wang grabs some glass bottles and throws them at Chu. This is a foolish move because the bottles break instantly against Chu's magic. Wang then rushes in for a heavy hand-to-hand fight. The speed is insane. Thanks to his magic, Chu fights like a human missile. His hands move faster than light, and every strike is perfectly calculated. He hits Wang over and over without pausing for a single breath. But Wang does not just stand there taking hits. He strikes back with equal speed and much more power. Every time Chu extends his arm to punch, Wang punches him straight in the face. The fight becomes absolutely brutal. The entire room gets destroyed by their heavy blows and bursting magic. The walls crack and the ground shakes. Both fighters refuse to give up and want to prove who is stronger. Chu thought he would win easily, but Wang is incredibly smart and focused. During the fight, Wang takes a quick step, grabs a handful of dirt, and throws it directly into Chu's eyes. This blinds Chu for just a second, but that is all Wang needs. He jumps forward and surprises Chu with a series of heavy punches. Chu tries to recover, but Wang is much faster and breaks his defense more and more. The heat of the battle keeps rising. Feeling the pressure, Chu suddenly disappears. His creepy doll starts launching extremely fast magical attacks. Wang barely dodges them. He grabs the doll and smashes it hard into the wall, destroying its magic. Suddenly, a magic portal opens right behind Wang. Chu jumps out and lands a massive blow to Wang's chest, making him spit blood. Trying not to fall, Wang tightly grabs Chu's hair. Strangely, Chu panics and begs Wang to let go, revealing that his hair is his only weak point. Wang takes full advantage of this. He wraps Chu's hair around his hand and punches him in the face with all his strength. The strike sends Chu flying into the wall. He crashes to the ground and does not get up. Wang breathes a sigh of relief, thinking the fight is finally over. But suddenly, Chu speaks. Wang is shocked and asks how he is still alive. Chu calmly says that the beating only broke his magical protection shield. Now Wang must face his true power. Suddenly, Chu's hair turns snow white and he transforms into a terrifying monster. His doll wakes up, moves faster than lightning, and attacks Wang. Wang cannot even see the strikes, so he tries to run away. Chu and his doll go completely crazy. They launch an unnatural amount of random attacks. Wang cannot dodge them all. Chu grabs a heavy rope, ties it to Wang's leg, and swings him around the room like a toy, smashing him through every wall. Wang falls to the floor, barely able to open his eyes. Chu laughs like a maniac. While Wang struggles to stand, Chu casts a massive explosion spell. Boom! A huge blast destroys the room, and Chu assumes Wang is finally dead. But as the smoke clears, he notices something moving. It is Wang, completely fine. The fire did not hurt him at all. Chu loses his mind. He screams, asking how this is possible, and starts panicking because he is running out of magic. Filled with pure rage, Wang focuses all his strength. First, he destroys that annoying doll for good. Then, he grabs the rope, wraps it around Chu, and beats him furiously. Finally, he throws Chu and slams him into the wall, just like Chu did to him earlier. Chu's body cannot handle the damage, and he turns back to normal, completely paralyzed. Watching this on the cameras, Mr. Lee feels hopeless and terrified. Every fighter he hired has been crushed. His assistant begs him to escape before Wang finds them, but Lee refuses to leave, insisting on getting his revenge no matter what. Meanwhile, Wang walks away, barely able to see from extreme exhaustion. But just before Chu dies, he uses the last bit of crystal energy from his broken doll to escape the building. Chu throws one final spell to finish Wang off as he runs. But strangely, the spell fails. Chu looks back and is shocked to see Wang chasing him through the air. However, Wang cannot fly, so he starts falling. At the last second, Wang grabs a hanging rope and swings toward Chu, hitting him mid-air. Taking advantage of Wang losing his balance, Chu triggers one last explosion. This time, Wang is seriously hurt and is about to fall to his death. But he remembers Yao. He remembers he has to save her. This gives him a final burst of strength. He grabs Chu and pushes him toward the ground. They both fall at incredible speed, catching fire on the way down. Wang makes sure Chu hits the ground first. Chu is finally defeated. However, Wang has used up every drop of his energy and pushes past his limits. Right before he dies, the system cube transfers him to space, gives him emergency energy, and sends him back. Recharged, Wang climbs the building and rushes into Yao's room. He finds her tied to a chair with tape over her mouth. He quickly unties her, but she screams, begging him to run. There is a bomb attached to her chair, and if she moves, it will explode. Wang reassures her, saying a bomb is nothing compared to what he just survived. Suddenly, Mr. Lee appears and locks the room door from the outside. Wang quickly asks the system how to disable the bomb. Following the instructions, he teleports the bomb into the cube's safe space and tells Yo they are finally safe. But suddenly the bomb explodes inside the system space. The shockwave knocks Wang unconscious. Yao cries, thinking he is dead. Suddenly, Liz's assistant sneaks into the room and shoots Yao with a gun. When Wang finally wakes up, he is devastated to find Yao lying there lifeless. The next day is the worst day of Wang's life because Yao died. He still cannot believe that in a few hours, he will attend her funeral. He watches her crying parents from far away and blames himself for what happened. His deep sadness makes him extremely weak, and even the system cube stops responding. He desperately wants to ask the cube how to bring Yao back, but he can only sit and cry helplessly. Suddenly, a strange woman gets out of a car and tells Wang she needs him for something important. He completely ignores her. To get his attention, she says she knows exactly where Mr. Lee is hiding. If Wang wants to know, he must come with her. Wang gets in the car and they go to a cafe. When he asks for Lee's location, the woman says she must ask him one question first. Why don't normal people know anything about super fighters and monsters? Wang naively guesses that they are just very good at hiding. The woman says he is completely wrong. She explains that a secret organization protects them. She claims that without her group, Wang would be dead right now. Wang laughs sarcastically. He asks her if they are protecting him. Why are 3 armed men standing behind him right now, pretending to be normal customers and waiting to attack? The woman panics and quietly reaches for her weapon. Wang calmly tells her to put it away. He says he could easily take them all out, but he only cares about finding Lee. Wang glances at her ID card and learns her name is Mo, and her job is managing superhumans. Mo calms down and insists that these organizations are real. Her words make sense, so Wang believes her, but he still refuses to join. Mo explains that since they protected him, he must return the favor. Wang realizes she wants him to work under her command, just like her weak guards. Since Wang is a high-level fighter, he feels this is a complete waste of time. Mo offers a deal. If he completes 3 missions, she will give him Lee's location. Wang agrees, but with a new condition. For every mission he finishes, he gets 1 piece of info. First about she, then about Lee. Mo agrees and pulls out a contract. Wang reminds her he is a student and cannot miss school. She promises it will only take 1 day and offers him a huge amount of money. Before signing, Wang asks how he can trust her. She honestly replies that there is no guarantee. He is free to walk away. Before leaving, she tells him he must pass a test to officially join. Wang realizes this is his only real chance to find Lu, so he decides to prepare. Back in her car, Mo's driver asks why she is hiring such a dangerous fighter who could easily destroy them. Mo smiles and says they really need him right now, and she will control him using the information he wants. The driver asks if she will actually give Wang the real information about Lee. Mo laughs and says Wang is clueless. She plans to give him basic, useless details that everyone already knows so it won't affect the organization. However, they do not realize that Wang secretly placed his system cube on top of their car. He hears every single word and realizes they are trying to use him. At first, he wants revenge. But then he realizes he can use them to get exactly what he wants. He decides to play along and act like a clueless kid. The next day, Wang goes to the testing location and finds many participants. The evaluator, named Zhu, explains that a good bodyguard needs speed, intelligence, and combat skills. This is how they will be tested. The first test begins in a room filled with different games. To win, a participant must collect 10 points. Wang immediately senses a trick. He realizes the organization is not looking for real game winners. They just want to see how the fighters think. Wang decides to challenge an arrogant guy. They go to a cup and coin game. The dealer girl quickly moves 3 cups around and asks where the coin is. The arrogant guy confidently guesses the left cup. The girl then asks Wang. Using his special eye rays, Wang sees exactly where the coin is. He tells her the coin is not in any cup, she is hiding it in her right hand. She opens her right hand, showing it is empty. Wang smiles, knowing it is a trick. He challenges her to put both hands together and open them to prove he is wrong. She does exactly that and the coin magically appears in her hand. She congratulates Wang on winning the game. Everyone else is jealous and confused. The arrogant guy starts complaining, suspecting she had 2 coins or a secret hole in the table. He checks the table but finds absolutely nothing. Wang had actually bet all 10 points on this single game. If he had lost, he would have failed the entire test. By winning, he instantly passes the test and gets the job along with a few others. Wang sits with the group. Zhu congratulates them and introduces Mr. Bao. Bao praises their victory and announces a special dinner for everyone. He also mentions that there will be a few more small tests. Whoever passes them will receive highly valuable rewards. He advises them to stay focused and do their best before leaving Zhu in charge. Zhu then drops a disappointing surprise. The first reward is 3 million, but it will be divided among all of them. The group instantly feels tricked. They get into a car to start the mission. Each person receives a secret file with the details of their task. Their mission is to travel to a specific country for a secret underground auction. Their goal is to buy an ancient mask for Mr. Bao. Inside the file, Wang sees a picture of an ancient jewel. He asks his female coworker about it, and she tells him it is called obsidian. Wang feels like he has heard that name before. Suddenly he remembers. Right before the bomb exploded back then, the system cube tried to tell him something about obsidian. Wang realizes that working with this organization will help him uncover many secrets. Even though they are using him, he can use them too. They finally arrive at the auction, which is filled with wealthy people from all over the world. The host, Dom, welcomes the crowd. Instead of a boring speech, he announces a deadly game called the Golden Bell. Suddenly, the floor opens, revealing a deep, dark pit. A screen turns on, showing a massive crocodile inside with a small golden bell tied around its neck. Dom explains the rules. Any brave fighter who can take the bell from the crocodile using only a sword and shield will win. The prize is a massive pile of gold bars. However, there is one final rule: whoever enters the cage cannot leave without the bell. Hearing this, Wang gets extremely annoyed. He wonders what this has to do with a bodyguard job. He realizes they were only brought here for the rich people's entertainment. The first volunteer steps into the cage. The crocodile is fast asleep, so the fighter takes the chance to attack. But the crocodile wakes up with unbelievable speed. It attacks and swallows the man whole. The wealthy crowd laughs, calling the fighter weak. But Wang knows the truth. The fighter was not weak. The crocodile's massive size and crazy speed are completely unnatural. Dom proudly announces that the crocodile, named Nicholas, is genetically modified by their company. To make things interesting, he increases the prize by 30%. One of the wealthy guests orders his personal assistant to fight. The loyal assistant prepares to enter the cage. Wang is shocked, calling the man an idiot for throwing his life away. A co-worker explains the dark truth to Wang. If no one volunteers, the host will pick someone at random. Since the rich man only brought one fighter, that assistant had no choice but to go. The assistant enters the cage and chooses a bow and arrow to attack from a distance. He shoots several arrows, but the crocodile does not even feel them. It rushes forward with incredible speed, crushing the man's bones with its heavy tail. Dom increases the prize by another 30%. The huge pile of gold tempts the other fighters. Two men volunteer at the same time. According to the rules, they must fight each other first. But the duel shocks everyone. One of the fighters, known as Golden Venom, suddenly bites his opponent before the match even begins. He poisons the man and drains his blood. Within a minute, the opponent collapses, completely lifeless. Golden Venom steps into the cage empty-handed. Everyone thinks he is crazy. However, he quickly spreads his deadly poison across the floor. The poison completely paralyzes the giant crocodile. Golden Venom casually climbs on top of the beast and uses a magical strike to slice its head clean off. He grabs the bell and hands it to Dom, who congratulates him for winning the first round. Dom asks if he wants his gold now or delivered later. Golden Venom says he will decide later, because he wants to see the rest of the beasts first. The excited crowd begs Dom to continue the game. Dom promises a very special surprise. Suddenly, the pit lights flash bright red, warning everyone of the danger. A terrifying new creature steps out. It has the speed and agility of a cat but the massive strength of a bear. It is genetically enhanced with highly advanced technology. They call it Tau 17. Everyone stares in pure fear. This beast is unlike anything they have ever seen, and the next fight is going to be a completely different nightmare. Dom hypes up the crowd, announcing that the reward this time is very different and much bigger. He notices the fear in everyone's eyes and asks who has the courage to fight this new beast. He warns them that its only weakness is that it is extremely brutal and shows absolutely no mercy. The monster quickly proves this by terrifyingly eating the leftover corpses inside the pit. Meanwhile, Wang feels a strange sensation. He is completely sure he is not afraid of the beast. Instead, he senses that a spy is secretly planning to do something today. He suspects the spy is someone from his own team. Dom interrupts his thoughts, announcing the next fighter. The man steps into the cage holding a sword full of confidence. He tries to attack, but the beast completely ignores him. It jumps right over the fighter and starts scratching the glass wall. The crowd panics, terrified that the beast will break the glass and attack them, so they start running. The ignored fighter gets angry and frustrated. He aggressively slashes the beast with his sword. Furious, the beast attacks and swallows the fighter whole, still holding the sword in its mouth. It leaps hard against the glass, causing it to crack. Even Dom gets scared because this was never part of the plan, and something feels very wrong. At that exact moment, Wang suspects Golden Venom. He notices Venom smiling wickedly after spraying a mysterious golden liquid on the floor. This liquid is likely the reason the beast is going crazy. Suddenly, the glass completely shatters and the beast escapes. Everyone is terrified and the monster charges straight at Dom. Luckily, a fighter named Muro pulls the beast away, giving Dom a chance to escape. Dom runs away quickly, saying he will get the guards to control the situation. But Muro tells him not to call anyone, claiming the fighters here are strong enough to deal with the monster. Wang is not upset by this chaos at all. He realizes this is the perfect distraction to sneak away and find information about Lee without anyone noticing. Wang tries to leave quietly, but one of Dom's fighters stops him. He orders everyone to stay in place until they regain control. Wang looks over and sees all the bodyguards standing behind Mr. Bao to protect him. Wang gets annoyed because he can tell Bao is just pretending to be scared. Wang is absolutely sure Bao knew this attack was going to happen. Finally, one of the organizers manages to knock the beast unconscious and everyone relaxes. However, Wang notices that a girl from his team is missing. At that moment, the guards receive a radio report that the auction is safe. But suddenly, the power goes out. The guards assume the old mansion just lost electricity. The moment they open the door to check, someone attacks and knocks them out. It turns out to be the missing girl from Wang's team. She sneaks through the dark mansion and hacks all the security cameras, so she will not be seen. She climbs down a rope into a secret room and opens a hidden door using her fingerprint. But the moment the door opens, a hidden fighter attacks her, slicing the cape she used to hide her face. More guards run up from behind her. She quickly hits one and throws him into the other, taking them both down. Just as she turns back to the first fighter, she sees him flying toward her with a knife, ready to stab. But Wang appears just in time. He grabs the fighter's arm and squeezes it so hard that the bone breaks. Wang calmly tells the girl that this fighter was very weak. Confused, she asks why Wang is here. Wang smiles and says he is here to protect her because he is her real bodyguard. She is completely shocked and asks how he figured it out. Wang explains that during the beast attack, Bao stood in front of the guards, while she hid safely behind them. If Bao were the real boss, he would have been standing in the middle. When she disappeared from the room, Wang realized her true mission was to break into the mansion and reach the vault. The girl praises his sharp intelligence but warns that time has run out. They only have 2 minutes left before the mansion guards arrive and the vault locks forever. Wang says 2 minutes is more than enough. He offers a deal: he will help her find the treasure, and she will help him escape. Since she is the only one who knows the secret exits, she agrees. But before they can search, Dom's elite fighters arrive and start shooting. Missing their shots, they throw a flash bomb into the room. Moving with incredible speed, Wang catches the bomb and throws it right back. It explodes in their faces, giving Wang and the girl a chance to run. However, they run into a large group of strong fighters blocking the exit. One fighter lands a heavy hit on Wang, while the others tie the girl up and slam her against the wall. Wang complains that this is unfair because there are too many of them, and they are at his power level. The fighters just laugh and mock him. Suddenly, Wang pulls out a bomb. Terrified, the fighters drop to the floor to protect themselves. Taking advantage of the distraction, Wang grabs the girl and escapes quickly. It turns out the bomb was completely fake. He carries the girl into a safe room and helps her stand up, as her leg was badly injured from hitting the wall. She thanks Wang for saving her, knowing he could have easily escaped alone. She asks why he risked his life to protect her. Wang explains that he needs crucial information to find she and Lee, so running away was not an option. After making sure she is safe, Wang steps back out to face the fighters alone. They ask where the girl is. Wang lies, saying she was slowing him down, so he left her behind. The enemy commander sends one man to search for her while the rest attack Wang. Suddenly, the girl drops from the ceiling. She launches a surprise attack from above while Wang strikes from the front. The enemy fighters have no time to react and are quickly knocked out. Wang smashes through the walls and finally reaches the secret vault. The girl takes her target item, and Wang clearly sees the obsidian stone resting there. Later, they escape down a hidden staircase under the mansion. Wang asks where they are going. The girl reveals that down below is the secret lab where they genetically mix the monsters. At the same time, the head doctor and his assistant are working in the secret lab. The assistant reports that the corpse of the Tau 17 beast has finally arrived for data analysis. However, the doctor angrily says that Tau 17 was their worst invention. He claims it was full of flaws and that most of their research so far is completely worthless. Meanwhile, Wang and the girl are stuck in the elevator. They cannot go down to the ground floor where the lab is, so they are forced to stop on the second floor. Waiting for them is a large group of armed guards, ready to shoot the second the doors open. But the moment the doors slide open, Wang and the girl attack instantly, taking down the guards in the blink of an eye. Hearing the noise, enemy fighters rush toward their floor. The girl pulls out a map, figures out their exact location, and tells Wang the specific path they must take to escape the mansion. Wang follows close behind her. They reach a room where the floor is soaked in blood. The girl guesses this is where the beast's body was dragged. She uses her fingerprint to open a locked door. Confused, Wang asks why she still insists on going to the lab when she promised they were escaping. She explains there is something very important she must find out first. Inside the room, they find strange, mummified creatures. She tells Wang the company is making biological weapons. They are turning these creatures into an evil, mindless army with no mercy. They finally reach the main lab room that holds her answers. The doctor's assistant sees them but is not surprised at all. She calmly says the professor is working, but she can go get him. The girl points her weapon and tells her not to move. The assistant tries to calm her down, pointing to where the professor is, and promises to bring him quickly. The girl finally lets her go. The assistant tells the professor that the intruders are here, and that the guards are on their way. The professor steps out and politely greets Miss Momo. Furious, Momo demands the genetic treatment he promised her and asks what is really going on in this evil lab. The professor reminds her of their secret deal. She was supposed to bring him a special item from the vault, and in return, he would give her the genetic cure. Shocked, Wang asks what kind of deal they made. The professor tells Wang to stay out of it. Momo demands proof that his treatment actually works. The professor opens his computer and shows his latest research data. He explains that Dom's super strong fighters were actually just normal humans. It was his genetic treatment that changed their bodies and gave them incredible strength. However, Dom recently stopped the human research to focus purely on animal-based biological weapons. The professor hates this decision because he believes studying animals is boring and true power lies in human evolution. Fed up with his crazy talk, Momo threatens him and demands the cure for her sick grandfather. The professor says he needs the talisman she stole from the vault to finish the cure. Realizing he is lying and only wants the talisman for his own greedy plans, Momo angrily hits him. She demands he stop his twisted human experiments immediately. Suddenly, the assistant rushes in, points a gun at Momo, and orders her to stop hurting the professor because the guards are almost there. Blinded by rage, Momo hits the assistant too, making her drop the gun. She turns around and tells Wang to help her destroy the lab. But Wang is completely gone. The system cube suddenly pulled his mind into space. Wang is thrilled because the cube is finally talking to him again. The cube explains that the obsidian stone in Wang's pocket provided the massive energy needed to reconnect. The stone also leveled him up, increasing his strength and unlocking brand new skills. At that moment, the enemy fighters rush into the lab, but they are instantly attacked by a swarm of mutated bats. Some fighters panic, but one guy just laughs, saying they are only bats. He uses fire to burn them alive. Taking advantage of his scared leader, this guy tries to take command. But suddenly, a massive, incredibly fast monster drops down and eats him alive, taking out two other fighters with him. The female leader quickly throws a rope around the monster. She pulls it toward her teammate, who strikes it hard, and together they manage to kill the beast. Meanwhile, Momo tries to escape following the map, but she is shocked to find the path totally blocked. With nowhere to go, she turns around and finds the elite fighters waiting for her. They had blocked the path on purpose to trap her. The leader charges at Momo with incredible speed. Momo blocks the strikes but is not strong enough to fight back. The leader coats her rope in a strange, glowing substance and whips Momo. The strike instantly paralyzes Momo, leaving her unable to move a single muscle. The leader orders her teammate to finish Momo off. But before he attacks, the leader decides to tell a dark story. She reveals that she and her team were kidnapped as kids and locked in this lab. They suffered through painful daily experiments to get their powers, and no one ever came to save them. At first, they were forced to follow orders. But now, they actually enjoy the violence. Momo, who was starting to feel sorry for them, changes her mind completely. She promises to wipe them all out. The leader raises her weapon for the final blow. But suddenly, Wang appears out of nowhere, radiating with massive power. He brings two giant monsters with him. Wang grabs Momo's hand and instantly teleports away, leaving the cruel fighters trapped in the room with the deadly monsters. As Momo and Wang finally reach the mansion's exit, they suddenly run into a strange man. Only Momo recognizes him. She whispers to Wang that his name is Lakey, and he is not supposed to be here. Lakey calmly explains that he was supposed to travel abroad for a dark assassination mission. However, when he found out they were here, he decided to come and meet them himself. Wang feels extremely uncomfortable around Lakey. He secretly asks the system voice about Lakey's power level. The voice warns him that Lakey is incredibly dangerous. His true strength is hidden, but he is definitely much stronger than Wang. Lakey steps forward and speaks calmly, trying to use a mind control trick. He almost controls Momo, but Wang quickly snaps her out of it. The intense fight begins. Wang bravely charges at Lakey with all his strength. Knowing this is a very tough battle, he attacks fast and stabs Lakey's iron arm with a knife. The fight heats up. Lakey does not hold back. He grabs Wang, spins him around like a toy to make him dizzy, and lands a bone-crushing hit. But Wang refuses to give up. Momo jumps in to help at the perfect moment. Wang uses his speed to teleport around Lakey, appearing and disappearing to confuse him. He keeps distracting the giant, and finally manages to slash Lakey right across the face. Momo shouts that this is their chance to run. But Wang completely refuses. He asks the system cube to merge his weapons into one super weapon. The cube warns that this fusion will mess with his skills and make them hard to control. While talking to the cube, Wang zones out for just a second. Unfortunately, that is all Lakey needs. He launches a brutal attack. Wang tries to defend himself, but the hits are too heavy. Momo tries to help again, but Lakey brutally grabs her by the hair and throws her across the room. Wang struggles to get up but gets struck again. He yells at Momo to run while he distracts the monster. Lakey ignores Wang and chases after Momo. He almost catches her, but Wang arrives at the very last second to block him. Furious, Lakey hits Wang hard and draws his sharp sword to finish him off. Suddenly, Momo jumps in front of the blade to protect Wang. Lakey grabs her and delivers a heavy blow, knocking her completely unconscious. He then pins Wang against the wall and punches him brutally in the stomach. While pinned, Wang asks the cube how much longer the fusion will take. The cube says it is almost done. But suddenly, everything goes terribly wrong. The fusion fails, and the system warns that the broken weapon will explode in exactly 20 seconds. Wang must get rid of it instantly. He quickly makes a crazy decision. He charges right at Lakey and violently stabs the explosive weapon straight into his arm. Lakey goes totally crazy and hits Wang, sending him flying. Momo wakes up and runs to help Wang. Then, boom. The weapon explodes, but instead of fire, it instantly freezes everything around them in solid ice. The cube quickly warns Wang that Lakey's power is strangely increasing, and the ice is about to shatter into a deadly blast. Wang does not wait a single second. He grabs Momo, and they jump straight into the water below, successfully escaping death. Later, Wang meets Momo in the city. She asks him to join a dangerous superhuman tournament as part of her team. Wang immediately refuses. However, she offers a massive reward. She will tell him exactly where Shai is. Hearing this, Wang agrees without hesitation. He remembers Yao and makes a deep promise. He vows to find Shi, learn his secrets, and find a way to bring Yao back to life.